Found a nice spot in the sun. Right, now this is freshly squeezed orange juice from our trees that I picked not 5 minutes ago. There's 2 oranges each.
That's amazing.
2 oranges each.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's lovely.
There might be some lumpy bits in the bottom.
There are some lumpy bits, but the lumpy bits are good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the sunshine as well.
Oh no. Coffee's on, porridge is on.
You're a keeper.
That'll keep the doctor away, won't it?
Let's see.
Let's see.
Just wanna tell you, think we're living in the good days. People usually never see them until they're miles away. If I had to guess, I'd say these are them, babe. And I hope like you, they'll be here to stay. Your love's got me singing in the morning.
So it's like quite interesting seeing how this weathers. This has been up since what, April, and it swelled so much that it started bowing. So because it's the panels that are doing it, and if each one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 panels, if they all swell 2 millimeters, that's 14 millimeters, which is a lot. I'm going to put a leading edge on this, which basically means I'm going to plane it at an angle so the distance between this corner and the hinge is a lot less. I can do it with a plane and one tacker. Tack on the edge just to put the plane at an angle. Got my angle, so I'll just do it freehand now. Right, I've trenched each end of the, put a rebate in it because that's going to fit over the stiles, and then this bit will sit on the tongue and groove, and then I've put an angle on it so water flows off of it, and then on the bottom I'm going to put a groove on the front edge to stop water from tracing back to the door. You can see there, that's the groove to stop the drip from flowing back towards the door. There's the rebates, and then I've given it a nice shape just so the water will come off it. And importantly is to put that same sort of leading edge on one end, because it's got to go past the frame. This week I'm going to concentrate on building the driveway gates, but I've got another couple of little jobs to do. One is finishing the door. This is still drying, this weather bar, but I need to get that on there. I'm still waiting for the door to dry out a little bit more actually. Yeah, so I need to get this on the bottom of the door, get it sealed, and the door's a little bit bowed at the bottom, so hopefully this is going to straighten it out a little bit. So there's that to do. I've also got some covered doors to make for my friend Gianni. They're just some shaker doors with a little bit of detail on the front. Should be able to see the drawing there. So I've got 6 of those doors to make. 2 of those are the same size, the other 4 are of a different size. I'm going to do the actual joinery with the router and the router table, and I know I said that the router table is useless. It's okay for small stuff, but that big stuff, but the gates are going to be some big old chunky mothers. I'm going to make them out of this here. Now that's 120 by 75 millimeters for the stiles and rails, and then some smaller timber, which you'll see on the drawing. Slightly thinner because I'm going to have tongue and groove at the bottom. I'm going to have a detail at the top to help the wind get through them, because they're going to be big old gates. It's going to be a bit of a wind barrier, so I'm going to leave a bit of a gap in the middle, and there's going to be a gap at the bottom because I need to leave the gap at the bottom for the finished driveway. The bars at the top is going to help with that. Now these bits that I've showed you, they are already machined up. I kind of struggle getting things square because I don't really have the equipment, but I managed to get straight and square edges on them. Another thing about these gates is that I need some big old hinges for them. I've been scouring the internet, having a look around, couldn't find anything. I've kind of realised that I should have ordered these well beforehand, maybe a month beforehand, and I could have got exactly what I wanted. However, we did go to a second-hand store this morning, and I've noticed these before. These are 1.2 metres long, and they're hook and band hinges, so they're perfect. The only problem is there's only 3 of them. So we found a steel fabricator and we've asked them to make up the 4th one and some new hooks, because these hooks are a little bit on the baggy side on the hinge. They're not too tight, but they're still a little bit baggy. So we've got those. Hopefully it's not going to take forever making them. You know, I'll keep you updated with that as and when I know it, but at least we've got 3 of these. Oh, that's interesting. It's got a little divot in it. Yeah, so that shape there is similar to this, is what I found here in the doorway. So you'd make a door and then nail a like cylindrical piece of timber down the side of it, you know, just a little bit smaller than this, and then you'd have one in the door head, and that would be your hinge. Don't get distracted by interesting rocks, Matthew. So clearing it out's going alright. Haven't found anything too difficult to pull out, but this is encouraging. So this is, it's not rock, it's just compacted clay. It's pretty solid, because I wouldn't have thought that there's any foundations here at all. It's just been built on this. The only concerning bit is that if it's sloping towards the house, this bit here, then that's all where all the water's going to go. So I might just have to try and carve that out a little bit, so any water that does fall from the roof here drips onto there and then starts flowing away. Because I'm going to dig that trench all the way through there, and then possibly past that clementine tree and out there. Also pulled up this big bit of rock, which is kind of interesting. So I'll dig this threshold out a little bit and I'll fit that back in there, and then the trench can flow past the door, past the end of the house and out into the wilderness. Right. Yeah, I'm done for the day. Yeah, it's gone alright. I didn't go hard at it. I can't be bothered really today. Digging's hard enough as it is without trying to break any world records. So, check it out. So, dig up there, and then I've just put some stones here so it just soaks into there. Dug this ditch out here, and then I'll put that stone back in there. It'll all find its own place, and then just dug that ditch to underneath the clementine tree. I think it still goes a bit uphill there, but I don't want to dig too deep because of the clementine, but I'm probably going to have to. But yeah, I think that looks alright. I'm not filling it all in with stones because probably sometime next year I'm going to get this whole area here, including that fig tree, whose root I found in the going into the house. So that fig tree's got to go. But anyway, next year I'm going to dig all this out and try and get it graded away from the house, because ultimately at the end of the day, if we have a look, I'm going to put that roof line's going to go up, and then I'm going to put a veranda out, probably its entire length, and probably up to this olive tree. Put a veranda out, and So this doesn't need masses of drainage. So long as it's sloping away from the house, it's going to be all right. And I don't see the point in throwing money into this when it's just going to get dug up at a later date. So that'll do for now. I'm just going to have a bit of a tidy up. And then I'm going to make some ice for a G&T because I think I deserve it. I'm going to do that now, for when I'm finished I can have one immediately. Between periods of her working day, Sarah's been pruning the olives.
So I've been a busy little bee the last few days. I am so in love with these trees, I can't tell you. Each one is like a little puzzle. There's so much history in them, like watching how they've grown, trying to piece together their story and the shape they've taken, and then trying to continue that shape where it wants to naturally grow. You can see there's so much dead stuff in the top of some of them. I've pruned this one. There's all this healthy growth down here, and it might be that in the spring we chop this one off, sort of under all of that dead stuff. I don't know. I've paused because that's too big a cut to make this time of year. But you can see I've made some big cuts over here. This tree was enormous, but it was all dead. There's the sort of pile that we're taking off. Now it looks really healthy and it can take on a sort of newer shape, or it can grow from there. This one's still got some dead at the top. I might chop the top off that one. Same with that one. Yeah. So, I've been quite busy. This one over here is an interesting one, this little one, because it's got these thieves growing out the side. Now, you're supposed to cut the thieves off, but these are already quite big. And actually, although this tree looks quite healthy, you can see I've given it a good prune at the top. I don't know if it's going to survive, because down the bottom it looks a bit dead and a bit hollow. And some of the trees you can see here, there's like a new tree that has grown and they've just cut this one off at the base. So I'm letting this one, or these two, grow, and they've also had a bit of a trim. And we'll see what this bit does. I've also been a little bit busy over here. This is our enormous sweet chestnut tree. Look at it, it's huge. It was completely tangled up in this olive here. This poor olive, not only was it completely smothered in ivy, it was completely shaded by the chestnut tree. So I've been freeing it up. When we first viewed this property, we thought we had two chestnut trees because this one looked like a chestnut tree. It's actually an olive. So this is a lot of the ivy, dead ivy, that we've cut off. In fact, actually, you'll see here an apple tree. The ivy and the chestnut was completely not only over this olive tree here, but also over this apple tree and the olive behind. So there's a lot of work to be done here. But I've been busy clearing the ivy off this tree. If I climb up here, I think this branch here is completely dead. Or I'll probably have to make a cut, but I'm just going to let this tree recover first. I'm not going to do any big cuts on this tree. I'm just going to get the ivy off. This tree is getting daylight to the centre, which is where olive trees really need the middle of the tree to be open. This has been smothered for years in ivy and shaded by the chestnuts. So these are the kind of stems here, here and here. That's ivy, all growing up and through. So I'm just going to work to clear that. We've even got tree ferns growing on there, look. This is all ivy. Well, most of it is ivy growing on here. So I'm hoping to save this tree. Ordinarily I would cut this branch here. I'm not going to. I think it's probably completely dead anyway. Yeah, it is. Actually, I think I will cut that. I would ordinarily cut any branches that grow in the middle of the tree, but I was just saving. I'm going to save as much as I can and do a very gradual prune of this tree, because it might be that we end up cutting it quite short, but we'll see. We'll see what we can rescue. So I'm trying to bring them down in height a little bit, and I'll show you a really good example. Look at this beastie here. So it goes all the way up to there. And maybe I don't know how tall that is, but maybe I'll stand back and I'll show you how tall I am. So I don't know if you can see, but I'm 5'2" and the tree is way above my head. So I've got a lot of clearing up to do and shredding of these branches. We're going to season the thicker branches. They'll go in the wood burner next winter. But all of these finer branches will get chipped and create some wood chip paths in and around the place.
That's the stiles and rails cut. The stiles are the verticals, the rails are the horizontals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plane a square edge. Yesterday I got as far as adjusting the router to have this rail in the optimal position. I pretty much got it and it looks alright. So I've done it on a scrap bit and it looks like this. So here we go. So that slots nicely into there. The panel's going to sit inside there. It's going to give us this nice little 8mm gap and it's going to fill it up to the back. So later on today when I go down to the wood yard, I'll pick up a sheet of ply and then I can just, once all these are cut to the correct sizes, I can cut the ply panels and start gluing them together. I also need to fit this weather bar on the door. Multitasking. Yeah. Not very good at it, but I'm going to give it a go nonetheless. Right, so that's all the tenons cut. And I've just put it in these clamps just to illustrate how it's going to go together. These aren't the finished dimensions. There'll be some small horns on there. We call these horns on the ends. I can trim those off afterwards, but it has worked out beautifully. And that's square on both sides. So I just need to go to town, pick up some ply and cut them to fit, and then we can glue them up and then put the finishing touches on them. But until then, I'm going to start processing the gate timber. I told you a fib earlier, I didn't do the gates, I just fit this weather bar instead. So I screwed that from the back and sealed the exposed edges with silicone, and I also put a layer of silicone underneath the door as well. However, I have been doing the gates. So I've started to cut the tenons on the rails. So I've got 4 tenons there. Been experimenting with my mortar set and that looks like it's going to work a treat. So yeah, I've got to process the other wood now, which is up there.